Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox. Peter Grant has already announced that he is resigning at the next general election, and so he's already dead man walking, yesterday's man. Nobody's going to listen to him. And that is why he can say the most outrageous things, because just nobody cares. Nobody cares what this man has to say. And so we look at what he has to say and we just ridicule him for being a fool. Because he says, and I think he genuinely means it, that Scotland will have its independence within 10 years. Well, not with you. You'll be gone next year. But it isn't going to happen in 10 years, in 20 years, in 50 years. My son is in his 30s. He won't live long enough to see Scottish independence. It's a pipe dream, and you sad people are wasting your entire lives chasing rainbows. We'll have a look at what Mr. Sadie Grant wants to tell us. But really, it's pointless, isn't it? He is a pointless individual with absolutely nothing to say. And he said it a lot. Here goes. So desperate SNP MP Peter Grant claims Scottish independence will happen within 10 years. He is delusional, and it's no wonder he is leaving. Well, there's two reasons. One, because he probably needs to go off and seek psychiatric help. And the other is, of course, he'll have his arse handed to him come the next election. His seat is one of those that is easily gettable, shall we say, by Labour. Should the polls be right as they stand now, his seat will have gone. Glen Rothes MP also claimed he was not jumping before he was pushed, as his seat is one of a resurgent Scottish Labour's big targets for the next general election. Again, telling porky pies. It's only a photograph, but you can watch his nose growing. Retiring SNP MP Peter Grant has been branded desperate. Well, they're all desperate, really, aren't they? After claiming that Scotland would be independent in the next 10 years. Well, it isn't going to happen. Whoever wins at Westminster does not want to be the Prime Minister that breaks up the Union after 300 years. So, no. The Glen Rothes representative also denied that he was stepping down before he was pushed and defeated by Scottish Labour at the next general election. Well, he's going to, isn't he? He's going to deny it, but we all know it's absolutely the truth. Of course, they're all jumping ship because they know they're going to be beaten. It's all to do with egos, isn't it? The veteran politician announced his plans to not stand again for the Nationalists as he became one of the 8 strong exodus of Skexit supporting MPs. Now there's 8 of them. You've lost Angus MacNeil, which is 9. You've lost Margaret Ferrier, is 10. So there's 2 down, 8 to leave. Who are you going to be replacing them with? Who knows? Anyway, he claimed he would see Scotland become independent in 10 years and that the breakup of the UK was inevitable. But he would not be seeing this as an elected MP or as someone who is alive. His claims were branded desperate by the Scottish Tories, who pointed out that the reason there was an exodus of Nat politicians from Westminster was because of Humza Yousaf's poor leadership. And indeed, now I sort of regurgitate that story, but Professor Sir John Curtis, to give him his full title, said that the underlying reason, and it was overwhelmingly this reason, was Humza Yousaf and his policies, not the ongoing trouble and trials and tribulations regarding the finances. That was a small part of it, but the biggest single issue was Humza Yousaf alienating even his own people. And don't forget, I mean, all these claims of independence, and they cannot even convince their own supporters about independence. The poll, about a week ago I did the story, 55% of SNP voters don't want full independence. It isn't going to happen. Anyway, Scottish Labour is expected to take at least 10 seats and as many as 23 from the SNP at the next general election. And you've got to say roll on October. Not this one coming, next, a year and a bit. With Mr. Grant's Glen Rothes constituency one of the key targets. It's been both red and yellow over the last 20 years. And it's likely to go very much red again. Speaking to the Courier, he continued to claim that Skexit would be happening in the next decade and even called on the SNP to reach out to their sworn enemies in the Alba Party to join forces to help this happen. Although Humza Yousaf has also said no to that immediately because Alex Salmond asked for exactly the same thing. And they were told, no, you're too small, you're laughably small, we're not interested. So, won't happen. He said, there will be a pro-independence victory in Scotland. I think the SNP will fight the next election on a specific mandate for independence, not for a referendum. Well, you can call it what you like, but you're not getting it without a referendum. He said, I'd also like to see that that the SNP reach out to other pro-independence parties to have parts of the manifestos that are identical. Regardless of who is in government, they will be forced to respect that mandate. And although it's not as immediate a path as people thought we could take, I think it's much more certain to deliver independence. In your fetid dreams. The only way you're going to get it is a referendum. And the worst thing, of course, about them is, sort of, if you look at it, you can have as many referenda as you like. You're still not going to win them. It's impossible because most people in Scotland aren't stupid. He added that he was retiring because he didn't know if he'd be fit enough for the job in 6 years' time when he comes to the end of another parliamentary session. That's not it. He knows full well he's going to get his arse handed to him by the Labour Party. He says, during my time, I've noticed it has taken a toll physically and mentally. Well, mentally, definitely. You somehow got stupider. Do I really think I'm going to be fit for how hard I know the job is by the time I'm 69? I like to think I will be, but I can't go to people and ask them to elect me because I think I will be. Scottish Tory Deputy Constitution, External Affairs and Culture spokesperson, long title, short man, Alexander Stewart described Mr Grant's comments as spin, which simply won't wash with the public. We all know that. We all know when they say, well, blah, 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 insert reason for leaving, putting down the paper with the polls in it. Yeah, right. Whatever. He said it's well known and accepted that such decisions from the likes of he and his colleagues to step down is nothing other than a damning verdict on the leadership of Humza Yousaf. And it comes amidst party infighting like gnats in a sack. He's desperately pushing the SNP's independence obsession in an attempt to distract from the chaos engulfing his party and to appease the nationalist base. People in his constituency and right across Scotland, he said, want the SNP to drop their independence obsession and focus on the real issues. Yeah, the issues like NHS, social care, education. And we saw yesterday about the massive exodus of people from the Scottish NHS because of wages being bad, because of working conditions being intolerable. I mean, if you saw the stresses that nurses and medical staff go under on a daily basis and you applied it to your job, you wouldn't do your job. It is a highly, highly stressful job for which they're receiving not an appropriate level of pay. And so when they can go abroad and get, 50% more money, half the number of, or maybe 80% of the hours, a tenth of the level of stress, and in a nicer, brighter place to live. Would you go? Would you? Of course you would. You'd be a fool not to. And so something needs to be done, but it won't be done, of course, with this bunch of charlatans in charge. Anyway, I shall come up and we shall round off. But yeah, I mean, he is just such a two-faced toad, isn't he? He's a liar. He's basically just lying for the sake of it, because he knows full well he's not leaving for health grounds. He's leaving for fear, scaredy grounds. He's a scared man, running scared of a resurgent Labour Party who are about to take away his seat. Coming up. Never heard so much guff in my life. But all these politicians are the same. They're all full of it, aren't they? Oh, that's the reason I'm going. It's not the reason. Cowardice. Cowardice. Craven cowardice. That's the reason you're going. You don't want to be seen to have lost. And so you're resigning, jumping before you push so that you can maintain your own self-worth within you. That's what this is. They take us for fools, don't they? They think if they say something, we're going to believe them. We don't, because we know they're bloody liars. Anyway, I shall stop there. Thank you very, very much for watching. And if you've got to the end of this video and you're not subscribed, now is an excellent time to hit that button, subscribe and strengthen the channel. It would be really helpful. Also, like the video. That's massively helpful too. So if you could just press the subscribe and and then the like, and everybody wins. Till next time, stay safe, stay well, and never believe a word Peter Grant or any of them say, because they're all liars. Bye.